Good day, all. It's been too long, hasn't it? I apologize for my absence. I've been focusing on my book that went live on Kickstarter in the beginning of this month. We were successful in reaching our funding goals, so woohoo! I can make my book. Unfortunately, it ended yesterday, but fret not. If you are interested, the digital version of the book is still available until October 31st, so you can go check that out if you want. On to what today's video is. Since I was focusing on my book, which was filled with illustrations of cozy scenes and my critter OCs, I was unable to make time for my other OCs, so I decided what better way to give them attention than to catch up on some art trends I've missed or never participated in. I have drawn a total of 4 art trends and /or challenges consisting of a handful of my OCs. I had a bunch of fun drawing them, so I hope you enjoy today's video. First of our trends is rather simple. It is, I believe, the apple art trend. This is a more recent one I think that I came across about over a month ago or so. I believe the premise is to draw characters' side profiles to carve out the apple. At least that is what I gathered. Not really sure where it started. I just saw people drawing apples one day with their characters or characters from their favorite shows and stuff, so I thought it'd be fun to try it out myself. I chose my OCs Angelique on the right and Emilia on the left. I thought they'd be the perfect fit for this trend because they are a duo I love, and the next art trend also has them. Anywhos, Angelique and Emilia's story is a slow burn, so I wanted them here to showcase their current story timeline of Emilia's affection and Angelique's nonchalantness. Nonchalantness? I'm sorry. Nonchalant. I hope I portray it well and that you can feel it. I have been working on, what is that? I have been working on my comic and decided that my main comic that I will release, well, that I'm currently working on for next year's release, will be a specific storyline that will have Angelique and Emilia in it. But for their story, since it is it's a journey, you know, it's a journey of self-discovery and stuff, navigating feelings, emotions, and understanding oneself. I want to put a lot more attention into that rather than have it as like some sort of side story within my main story. I want them to have their own main story, so they will have their own comic sometime in the future. I hope you look forward to that because I'm really excited to work on it. Gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be so beautiful. Anyways, back to the art. I wanted to play with pencil textures, so I mainly used pencil type brushes for this. When I saw other artists take on this trend, they had such heavenly renderings of apples, and then mine ended up looking like a cartoon apple. Though it's okay, because I'm happy with the end result, and I hope I did this trend justice and y'all enjoy it as much as I do. Next, we've got this art trend, what is this? The eye trend? Is that what it is? Okay. I believe it's an older one. I came across it either in the beginning of this year or last year. I don't have the greatest of memories, so forgive me. But I've seen people do collaborations on this, or just the artists put 2 of their OCs in it, which is what I'm doing, obviously. Once again, we've got Angelique and Emilia as our models. Initially, I went with a simple line art, but then it felt too simple because, you know, it's a close-up of their faces. So I switched to lineless and did more rendering while playing with some textured brushes that I don't usually use. I wanted Angelique and Emilia because I wanted to highlight Emilia's forget-me-not irises and, well, Angelique's lack of eyes because I don't know, I did this to her. So she's a porcelain doll, right? So she doesn't really require eyes, but I wanted it to be like her face is a mask. Like if you're just looking at a mask hanging on a wall, you know, and it's just like darkness in the eye holes. So I wanted her to be like that. But I also have this image of, you know those dolls with like the eyelids kind of like close on its own? Then sometimes they get, like one gets stuck and stuff. I want her face to have that kind of mechanic so I could draw those images of her with like one eye open and one eye closed. I think that would be very funny. So when I showed the finished piece to my partner, he was confused at first because, you know, Angelique just has a dark hole as her eye. So he was like, where is that the eye? It's just a socket. It's just it's just a hole of darkness that you're looking into. So anyways, I thought it would be a fun contrast to Emilia's eye because, you know, it's like heavily beautified and whatnot in comparison to her empty eyes. Or lack thereof. I do admit I might have over-rendered, which is not something I usually do, so it looks way different from my usual usual style. Nonetheless, I think the outcome came out pretty nice, especially the texture of Emilia's skin. I can't stop looking at it. It's just, there's texture. I may just use this technique again in other pieces. I really enjoyed this, so I think I might do it with other duo characters. It will be fun to see how everyone's eyes look too in this, I guess, style. I think I'm done with this one now. I really like the end result. Very happy with it. Next is another pretty recent one known as the cat shadow trend. I don't know the names of any of these, okay? Y'all, I see these trends happen randomly, but I never know where they originate from. So if you are aware of the origins of any of these trends slash challenges, please let me know. This one is cute. I chose Alfie as the model for this as it is definitely something he would do. Oh, mind you, long story short, our character's name is now Alfie, as you can see. And I think that's fine. It's still close to an old person-esque name. Alright, the sketch came out cute, but I don't know why I decided to do a full drawing with this. And then I ended up not liking it anymore because of the colors of the clothes. And then the line art was too dark and wasn't feeling right. You know, I was having a lot of issues with this particular piece, even though I shouldn't have. Yeah, I spent like, what, 5 hours on this one? It should not have taken me that long. But you know, things happen. I took pause on it for a few days, thinking that it would look better after a while. And then I returned to it and I was like, I still don't like it. I decided to go back in and add some simple lining just to add some structure to it. I think it does look much better now. Happy I didn't give up on it, even though it is still a bit iffy. You know, it's not my best work. Overall, pretty happy with it, kind of, though it could have ended up better. Finally, the last one is a bigger art trend, or more so a challenge. I've seen people draw various characters from shows and such to use with this, but I've decided to do it with my own characters, which was a bit iffy because who knew I didn't have a character that correlated with each color of this wheel. So the premise is from what I believe, is that you take a character with a correlating color and then you draw the character in that color. That's what I did. I was aiming for strictly my human-esque characters, but since I didn't have one for yellow, I decided to add in moose, as I feel like they fit the color theme even though they also look out of place because, you know, moose is a goose and that is not a human. You may notice a few returning characters such as Alfie, Liliana, and Angelique, but there are also returning characters that didn't have names yet when I created them. For the color cyan, is that cyan? I chose a character that I created out of a unicorn and a bow emoji. You can watch the video of their creation here. I went through different names but decided to have them be Lux. I feel like it fits them well since to me the name doesn't give gender. Oh my god, forgive me. How else do I explain this choice? Gender neutral? Initially, I wanted them to be named Kier because I recently saw the name Kieran and thought, what if that was shortened? But I have a thing with giving names with meaning to match the character and saw that Kier meant dark or black in Irish, and that didn't really fit them. So I gave that name to our nightmare consumer instead. Somewhat fitting, right? And I read that Lux means light, so there we have it. A unicorn named Lux. They look a tad different from the original design because I was thinking, the horn would get in the way of some things. So I took inspiration from the last unicorn and put a star where their horn would be. And then I decided their role in my world would be a knight, and their sword would be glowing. I hope to do an official full body drawing of them soon. On to Nightmare Consumer, aka Kier, for purple. So as I've said when I created them in this video, is that the humanoid body is an empty shell puppeteered by the cat atop of the head to make them seem friendlier. At least that's what they think. Even though just being a cat appearing in your room would feel less threatening than a puppet floating towards you. But it's a fun character design, I really like it. But now I am debating if the puppet should be sentient from the cleansing energy being contained in the crystal. I will have to develop this a bit more, like dive into their character a bit more. For pink, we have my character Pip. Pip is actually my mouse character, but I had a human design for her for a while. I just haven't finished it yet, but she's finished here. I chose a long ponytail to represent her own tail and a large bow to kind of emulate her ears because mouse. She is also a baker, so her outfit reflects that as well. When I finished her design as well as everyone else's design, I will most likely do another OC introduction video since many things have changed in the last several months since my very first video on this channel. Okay, the final color for introducing a new character is Ash for red. If you remember, Ash is a redraw of an old art I did, and they may look different here because I meant to do a redesign but didn't have time to do so, so I decided to do it here instead. They're still a cat cafe owner, that did not change. They have this outfit because they're the main barista in the cafe. I want them to have like a group of fans, you know? I just want, because I really love those sorry, sidetrack. I really love the characters who are, you know, nonchalant. They like do their own thing and stuff, but they give off such like an attractive energy that they just have like a tiny fan base. That just like that goes to their shop just to like gaze at them. Anyways, I think that's funny, and I have a feeling that they would be one of those characters. Of course, the cats would attract customers in, but they would keep the customers staying for a very long time. I decided to make their eyes smaller to give them an older look, and I wanted to play with adding some beauty spots on them. It came out looking really good. I feel like I'll have a fun time developing their storyline. I'm pretty excited. I already thought of some things, and I will of course have them in the introduction video, and possibly by that time I'll have a backstory for them. If you haven't noticed, throughout the speed paint, I was having a difficult time drawing Liliana. Why, you may ask? Because I chose an angle that I am not used to drawing on a face, okay? She's supposed to be looking down on us, but I can't seem to fit her face properly. I can't make it look good, so I kept saving her for last. I hope by the time the video is uploaded that I, you know, succeed in putting her beautiful face on her face. And I think that is it. I think I did this accurately, though I used variations of the colors rather than the colors themselves. Actually, I did use the background colors as the highlight colors so that the characters would blend in better. I was especially iffy with Lux, but I am thankful that they matched the cyan. That I was playing around, I was adding the cyan into their hair and outfit and stuff so that they would fit better, because I also don't have any cyan color characters. So overall, a success, perhaps. I love my characters so much. I have even more trends and challenges I want to do with them, so I hope you look forward to seeing them again and hearing about them. With that said, thank you so much for watching today's video after my incredibly long hiatus. I hope it is to your liking, and please feel free to mention any other trends or challenges you'd like to see me take on. And as usual, have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. Goodbye!